Recording. I hate research. I hate data too. I hate people who hate research. Because all the point is to win awards and get a boat and a house in the country. No, I'm sorry. To do great ads to sell worthy products. Hello, Paul MacFarlane here again, and my dear friend.
Lizanne.
Yeah. All right, we talk about this a lot together, and also we type about it a lot on LinkedIn, and we talked about it in some videos, but I think it's good to go into this. Why do we have prejudices about what research is and who researchers are and so-called creative and what their agendas are? Why do those prejudices exist, and would it be useful to break some of them open?
Yes, I think there is a prejudice. It's interesting. I did a psychology degree. What I really wanted to go into, and I'm not sure I even should admit this, I think I wanted to be in advertising, and I didn't know how to get into it. So I went into market research, and now I end up talking about advertising. And what is interesting, when you say to somebody, you know, when you meet someone new, what do you do? And then they say, oh, I'm an accountant, I'm a cameraman. Well, anyway, you know what their action's going to be. Like, you just turn away from me now. Not interested. So if I was to say to you, I'm a market researcher, they go, oh, that's nice. If I say, so I stopped saying that. I said, oh, no, I work
That's
in
good at
biscuits.
a cocktail party. I do market research.
Yeah. But if you're in advertising, it's like, oh, I've never even seen it. Mad Men, apparently there's some sort of thing about it. It's fun, isn't it? And sexy. And you don't have to wear jackets and suits, because the suits are the clients and they're the boring ones. But do you know what I mean? It just, there's loads of stereotypes.
Well, you see right there, at a party, and we can make jokes about it, but come on. If you say you're doing research of any kind, it's comparatively nerdy, and it puts the person on the defense of feeling they might be under your microscope, which is demanding intimacy that someone may not want to give. But advertising, it's, you know why I think a lot of people get into it? It's kind of like show business.
Yes.
It's like,
I
oh,
think
cameras and lights, and oh, we can get a celebrity, to do our. That's why people love
mm,
having celebrities, because then they get to meet the celebrity. I'm not kidding. That's as simple as it is many times. It has a natural, built-in cultural, societal kind of wow to advertising. Even the bad stuff, it doesn't matter. It still seems more fun than all your friends' jobs.
yeah, and everyone wants to go to a shoot, don't they? Right? It's the most boring thing you'll ever go to. It goes on forever. There will be good food there. You're going to see the same old thing again, and is in some location you really don't want to be anywhere near. Yeah, but it's advertising. It's sexy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the point about where prejudices come, research seems scholarly, and creative seems hippie, wild, rebellious,
Yes. Left and right brain.
savage, and free. Yeah, yeah, very much so. And
Although it's not, but yes, sorry, I'm interrupting you all the time. That's what good researchers do, they interrupt.
give my punchline away. But
Go on, come on, tell
in
me
some
the
circles,
punchline.
it is a punchline. It's that
Waiting.
fierce. The thing is that I think all such range wars can be dissolved when you find the common goal, if there is one. Like, how do I think I can reconcile Israel and Palestine? Why not meet for dinner and eat the same food that grows in both of your same and go from there? So here, um, Lizanne, why do you do what you do? What is your mission?
My mission, if I'm in America, is to get the products in the shop as much as possible without making it look a bit fake. In the UK, my mission is to make good advertising. good advertising. Oh, by the way, have you tried this? It's Pepsi Max Cherry, maximum taste and no sugar. Have you tried that, Paul?
The last
So,
last time I had carbonated sugar water was November 6th, 1998.
wow. Well, then you can't advertise this, can you?
Yeah, I could.
Anyway,
Yes, I could. I could advertise it to people who were unlike me.
but can you understand them without doing the research? Because most of the time, the creatives, and I will answer a question in a minute, think they know everything about everyone. Yeah, they're
When
probably what
let's see what I know. Let's look. Let's. This is completely unscripted. All right, that product. What is the flavor
cheers.
again?
Hey, it's cherry. It's really nice. It's quite refreshing. That's my advert. How bad is that?
You know, cut. Could you say it and smile with your eyes more?
Hey, it's cherry.
The thing is, I can remember. I can't speak for anyone else in my business, although I'd love to in most days. I can't speak for anyone but myself. I remember what it was like to drink sugary, carbonated water and why I craved it and what I paired it with, what kind of food. Why would I always have this particular thing with that and what part of the year? I remember all that. I was never much of a cherry flavored drinker. The closest I got to it was the most, South Park again, Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Dr. Pepper, yeah.
Yeah, see, in South Park, they have an episode where there's two plots always. And one, the kids get sent to a foster home because they're having trouble at home, and they get sent to a home of agnostics. And it's hilarious because the refrigerator is just filled with Dr. Pepper because they're agnostic. And they torture the kids in the basement. And they ask him, "Is there a God?" And they say, "Oh, no." And they spray him down with a hose. "No, you can't say either way. There's no way of knowing." "Oh, that's right, that's right." They're trying to stay completely neutral and agnostic. And so, of course, Dr. Pepper. But anyways, I think I could do a pretty good job, unless people drink those products for different reasons than they used to 20 years ago, 30 years ago. If they actually have a new behavior about drinking soft drinks, pop, soda, whatever you call it, people are doing it in a different way than they used to. Oh my God, I'd want research. But assuming that they're not, I would talk with research people and I would say,
Go away.
I
It's
would,
my idea. It's a creative idea. You can't test it. It's
yeah.
not measure research. It's data, not my brain. Anyway, sorry.
Well, no, is I would think, is there something out there, a human truth that I could be missing? Is there something about this,
Doubt it.
about, like Pepsi versus Coke? It's very simple to me. Coke is about sugar water, that is about tradition and familiarity, and Pepsi is a little bit more youthful, the leading edge of culture, sugar water. At least that's what they've been telling us for decades, and so I guess I've caught on. So with that, I would wonder if what fresh new thing you could say about it, because it seems to be so obvious, and people seem to be rather animal and immediate about their flavor choices and why they reach for this at a certain time. So maybe find out that Pepsi Cherry, why do people like it versus other cherry flavored things? And get them in the room with us at the same time and let's talk about it and see what happens. And then I may go away and think about it, and then I'll say, "Hey, this is an idea. What do you think?" And that's what I would do, because my goal, believe it or not, is to do breakthrough advertising that builds shockingly powerful results for worthy businesses and brands. Now, see what we just did there? Oh my God, we just shook hands metaphorically, virtually, and that we're going to the same place. And if you, I don't see, that's the thing. I can respect anyone who's going to the same place I am. And if they do it in a slightly different way, I'm intrigued.
What's cooler though, right? The research that's got the insight and can see what's going on, or the cool ad bloke that just hides in the background. What's the best look?
Right?
Or are they going for the same thing? I don't know.
Well, you see,
Apparently, Paul, we are, but that's not what feedback I get on LinkedIn.
yeah, but here, look at it. Look at that product there. Is there much to say about it?
What this one, but
Yes.
the brand. Just
Is
the
there
client
much
just
to
wants
say
the
about
brand. The
that
client wants the
particular product?
brand, the brand, the brand. That's all the client wants. They don't want interesting advertising.
Yeah. Is there much to say about it? Like if we were just strangers sitting on the boardwalk, and we both find we're drinking the same thing, what would we say about it?
It tastes good.
It
I
tastes
don't even know. It tastes better than Coke. Let's do a research test.
well.
Coke
I'm
and
saying this.
Pepsi.
See, yeah, any product you have to figure out: is there something to say about it, and is it logical to say anything about it? Is it beneficial to say anything about it, or is it something that there is largely nothing to say about it? Then needs to be a feeling.
Feelings, feelings, feelings.
Yeah.
Always feelings.
Yeah, so what is the feeling about that product? Now, when did you, okay, I mean, I'm curious, Lizanne. When did you start drinking Pepsi Cherry?
Actually, Paul, interesting you say that. Only recently,
Yeah, how did you find out about it? Were you at a dance club and one of the best dancer he was drinking? You said, I'm going to be like he or she?
I was living my very best life in the local co-op store down by the beach, that's sometimes full of sewage. And they had it, and I thought, I'm bored of it. I don't normally drink these drinks, but I'm bored of it. But I have been rediscovering cherry as a flavour, cherry sweets, for
Hmm?
example. And I thought, I wonder what cherry Pepsi's like.
So,
It's not so.
cherry. You know what? Cherry to me, of all the fruits, is the most that looks like the most gaudy wet red lipstick.
Hmm.
And it's celebratory, and it in culture has been slightly over sexualized somehow.
Baboon's bottoms.
Yes, and the cherry
Are
on
they cherry flavoured?
I
They
don't
should
know.
be.
They could be cherry smelling, but see, what do we do with
I
cherry?
doubt they are.
Cherry is the first thing you put. No, it's the last thing. It's even on top of the whipped cream. The cherry on top. The cherry on top. The cherry on top. The cherry on
And
top.
I hate cherries, especially glacé ones.
It's like
It's
the
not the cherry
pensioners.
on top, is it? It's
Like
the
the
worst thing you
pensioners.
can put.
It's like the pensioners who say, "Hey, a little bit of shandy with cherry on top." It's like, oh yes. So cherry's on top. So I mean, it's like it's got a peculiar, different flavor from other fruits. It's intense. So what do you think led you to be thinking cherry and craving cherry lately?
I used to love, it's a childhood thing, I think, because I'm getting old and retro and living the dream that now the next generation is living in terms of 70s are back, by the way. So I would go down to Balfour's, which is our local sweet place for me. Newsagent, we call it in the UK. And I'd buy my cherry sweets with my pocket money. That taste is really quite interesting, cherry. It's quite full on. And then by the end of it, because I ate all the packet, my tongue would hurt so much I couldn't actually eat any normal food because it had worn away. It
Yeah.
also reminds me of being in America. There was always a lot of cherry flavored stuff whenever I went to the States. I remember eggnog. I remember what else? Root beer and cherry
Lots
sweets. Loads of different types of cherries.
of everything. What do you want? You want like 57 different varieties of cherry flavored Pepsi? We'll have them here.
Yeah, and the choice in America is amazing. And then your
It's
chewing gum,
overjoyed.
oh, big red, big red. We used
Yeah.
to always get sent that. We couldn't
Yes.
get that here.
Big red
Anyway,
chewing gum, yeah, too. Yeah. So there doesn't seem to be anything obvious to say about it. It's just sort of when you have a craving for cherry. If I get in a mood where I want cherry, Pepsi needs to be there then.
but the basic need behind that is, excuse me,
Or
I'm
can they,
going to,
can they provoke it?
I don't know. I mean, but the very first need is I'm thirsty or I need a break because I'm speaking to you again.
Mhm.
So, which is obviously is always a pleasure, but sometimes I get a bit tired because it in the UK is dark. So I need an energy boost. That's the number one thing. And then I got a choice between fizzy water with my soda stream, I'm brand dropping again,
Yeah.
or this, which is Pepsi Max and is cherry flavored.
What's
I
the,
don't know.
does it have boosted caffeine or sugar in it?
Well, it actually says no sugar, but for some reason I think it does give me a boost. But I don't know. Has it got crappy sweeteners in? Because I don't even like that.
Most colas do.
Oh, cola. You call it colas. That's interesting. Okay.
Mm.
Carbonated. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
But I guess the point
Sweetness.
here is research, creative, agencies, and intentions. If we got this as a product assignment, we would both be reasonably dutiful in drinking it ourselves or having someone we know we could inquire. See, that's the thing. If I don't consume a product, will I advertise it? Yeah. But I have to advertise it without imbibing it. And they have to be okay with that. And if not, life's too short. But in other words, if we took this on and we're thinking, well, it's Pepsi. So if people are disposed to listening to Pepsi, watching Pepsi, leaning into Pepsi, and Pepsi says, hey, don't forget our new cherry brand, all right, you've got my attention. Because usually the brands like that are massive, have little vertical flavors. Those vertical flavors don't get advertising as we know it, they get sales promotion. When you're in the market, you'll see a poster display for it, a special price, and but they won't spend money on television to promote that brand. Why not? Is that because they think it would cannibalize the core brand, or they don't think the appeal in the marketplace is big enough to satisfy advertising? That would be a question I'd ask them. What do you mean you're predisposed to doing it as sales promotion only? Why? Do you think the public's appetite for cherry is just never going to be dominant? Is it always simply a sometimes flavor?
Well, being a client, I would say it is. You've only got so much advertising budget, haven't you? So, would you spend on advertising all the brand, which is the Pepsi bit, without the flavor, and so all the portfolio benefits, or do you talk about a new flavor because it's so amazing and new, and it's new news? Well, probably not, unless you've got a massive
What
budget.
I
But I
say,
might, on the end of the ad, put a little bit now available in cherry.
what I say about Pepsi. Pepsi versus Coke is always youthful on the leading edge of culture, whatever. And arguably, you could say that Pepsi's cherry is also highly youthful on the leading edge of whatever. Like, if you have kids in your family, say you got three or four, is one of them cherry?
Oh,
In other words, is one of them that really bright, you can't handle them all the time, but when you do, there's nothing else like them? You know, the most ideally annoying flavor? You know?
right. Where are we going with that? I don't know.
Well, see,
Choose your favorite child. That's annoying, or what we're saying.
well, in other words, where does cherry flavor sit in anyone's palette of favorite flavors?
I don't know. I'd look at the research for that because it might be surprising. Crisps in England, what's the top flavour? Can you
Walk,
guess?
Walker's cheese and onions.
You know the answer. Yes, it's not salt and vinegar. Everyone thinks it's salt and vinegar. It's not. But I
Yeah.
don't know where cherry comes because I haven't done that much research into cherry flavours. But I imagine it's pretty high up because if it's available in my local co-op, the one opposite the
Ooh,
water that has the poo in,
look how you know what facings mean, right? How many facings of that versus regular Pepsi?
oh yeah, hardly any, but it's there.
Okay,
It's
so
it's fought hard to get in there, by the way, because there's only so much space in a tiny little shop with opposite sewage. Sea.
yes, that's right.
Tiny,
Pointing
like
to the tin.
tiny.
Yeah, pointing to the tin with it. Yeah. So the thing is,
I'm not associating Pepsi with sewage, by the way, in case I get told off. I'm not. It's nice.
not today, and not at this time.
Not never.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to go sideways for a minute. This is a technique that can be done legally almost in any culture. Pick a brand you don't like. I have anything.
I'm never going to get work for them evermore, am I? Okay, so there is one.
It could be
Huh?
a hotel. It could be a car. It could be a food. Anything.
Skoda. Sorry, don't like it. Oh.
And remind, I know Skoda is what?
VW made accessible in terms of price. It's basically VW engines.
Oh, the
It's a
car. Oh, the car. That's right. Okay. Well, it'd be interesting if a competitor said, "We're public service. It's come to our attention that it is being said that Skodas are packed in the seats with the dismembered corpses of aborted babies. We think that's reprehensible, that anyone is spreading that rumor, and as far as we know, there are no dismembered baby corpses in the seats of Skodas. And anyone who's saying that those seats are filled with dismembered baby, fetuses, should stop saying it, and we're working as hard as we can to make sure no one passes on that idea any further. See,
Where's your brain gone, by the way?
it's public service that appears to be actually just finding a way to spread a terrible rumor about something else. See, Pepsi, the water. You know, does the water in Pepsi come from the ocean right outside Falmouth? Oh, it's local. No, don't be local, please. You know. See, local isn't always perfect. So anyway, the looking at that, the goal is to do great advertising. Now, can we do advertising? Maybe the only advertising we get to do is maybe one thing on social media or posters in the store. But the thing is, obviously, there's something so simple. And one of the most frustrating things I've ever had to do is when you have an assignment to think of an idea for. And it seems so obvious and so simple. And you work on it all the time. And you sit in a room and just go round and round and round. And you can't think of anything. You can't think of anything. You can't think of anything.
Hmm.
Because there seems to be, someone at some point says, there's nothing to grab a hold of in this thing. There's nothing there. And then they look at the research again. They pull it out again. Nothing there, nothing there. Because it's full of blah blah. It'd be interesting with this, depending on what your media option is, what could you say about what cherry means to people and our relative need for it? You don't always need cherry, but when you want it, you gotta have it.
Well, yeah, or I might challenge you on that as a researcher, because I don't just do research, actually, and data, as you call it. And I'd say, why are you focusing on cherry so much? It's the brand, it's Pepsi. Why am I choosing Pepsi over Coke? Anyway, because isn't that what it's about? Because they're pretty much similar, aren't they? Sorry, Pepsi and
Well, we'll
Coke.
see. Research, I don't know. Research should help me figure out, are there people who, I'm a Coke drinker, but I drink Pepsi's cherry because I like their cherry the best.
Mm,
Or are there Pepsi drinkers who say, you know what I mean? I don't drink, but I do like Diet Coke really a lot, but I drink Pepsi. I don't know. And is there
I don't
enough of
know.
them to mean something? I don't know. You know what?
Mm.
The way I'm even talking about it, I want to know, but I don't care enough, so I want someone else to do it.
This is the worst bit when you're a client, is those people, and there are a lot of them that just buy on promotion. Well, I buy Pepsi when it's on promotion and then Coke when it's on promotion the next week. Now, what do you do with those people? They
Right.
might be a third of your buyers. What have you created there that the brand means so little, it's only bought on promotion?
Well, if people switch between Coke and Pepsi, depending on what's on sale, well, the answer is neither of them are ever on sale. They stay just like that for a very important reason. Let's imagine they varied. If there was someone who had their secondary form of hydration was carbonated sugar water and they bounce back and forth on price, I can imagine that. I find it a little difficult to imagine that from the experience of my life, but I can imagine it. Or people who bounce between McDonald's and Burger King, or between Manchester United and Man City. I mean, in
But
Ted
Paul, whose
Lasso.
fault is that? Whose fault is that? Is that the clients, the researchers, or the ad agency for not creating a brand? That's my
Well,
question.
but see, depending on how many people there are like that, it could very likely be that no matter how clearly you brand, there's going to be a sliver of humanity that you just can't reach with it. And if
Yeah.
it is a sliver, then is it worth going after it? They're not as important as the other
Mm.
people. Ooh, that's an interesting question to ask.
Targeting. You see, researchers help with all of that. Researchers do all the strategy, and then good ones, so they know who they're targeting, what they're going to say, what makes you different, what makes you unique, and then they give it to people like you to make good advertising, because researchers
Yeah,
don't make good
but
advertising.
see, the people that I value doing so-called research now, just data. I haven't met a person who owns data that I want to have a beer with at all. And that's their problem, not mine. But I do think people who do research done right, I stand by the tenets of account planning, and I believe it should not be drawn in. It should be part of the process constantly to have the representative of the target audience there. And maybe the planner sometime brings the actual target audience into your meetings. At some points, maybe they go and live with them for a month, or they travel with them, or they eat with them, or they do whatever, because we're going to the same place. And whatever the problem is, I like to have all three legs: client representation, target audience representation, and agency representation, being partners, constantly solving it together.
Hmm.
So in other words, like if you and I are in the same room with someone from the client and another part of the staff, I know you say you want great ads. I want great ads. And at some point, if I'm the creative director, I'm going to get final say because it's the product. But if we can argue that's a great idea and I like this idea better than that idea, well, I'm going to be the deciding vote. The thing is, in that room when that happens, a good team player can say, I think we should be going that way, and then allow something from out of nowhere, sweep everything away, and say, wow, that did it, and to celebrate that. Just like on a team, one guy puts the ball in the net, one guy gives the assist, the other people maybe didn't have anything directly to do, but they celebrated together. And that's
Imagine that.
that's a brand because if we got a great ad out of it. But you see, on this screen over here, I've got LinkedIn open, and I can see a post right now of a very well-known global agency celebrating a particular bit of work they did, and they've got 35 people's names in it, and they're celebrating the team. Now, because I've seen how the sausage is made, I know it
Oh,
should
these dancers.
be impossible that 35 people made that ad. It should be completely impossible
Because
because
they're all down the pub. Yeah, gone.
yeah, exactly. They're all down at the pub or all over the shoot.
In
You know,
their casual clothes.
they're the last people to show up to the shoot, the first to get bored, the one who eat the most food, and leave the first to go to the pub. Right, but they get their name on it. They're part of the team. Yeah, I get that. See, I'm gonna kind of wind this up. This has been a long one, but a good one.
Poor
Uh,
people. Do you think there's anyone still listening at this point?
if they are, let's have a beer. See, when I came up in the business,
Or a Pepsi
writers,
Man?
keep that up there. We can get this video paid for. When I came up in the business, there were award annuals that had the writers, the art director, the creative director, and maybe two other people, and they became stars. And now you see the credits of an ad, and you've got 15 creative directors, three global creative directors, all these people, and they couldn't possibly be it. I understand they're doing it to the client. Look at all the people to work on your business, justifying the retainer. So
I tell you what, though, I do like cherry flavored Pepsi Max.
why do you like it?
I don't know. I just do. Let's ask the researchers. They'll know.
I'm going to send a researcher to talk to
Subconscious.
you. So what did we learn? Did we learn anything? Did we change our perception?
Buy it.
The most important thing, I think, if you're doing something in this industry, make sure it's clear why you do it and communicate that to the team. And if you find someone that wants the same thing as you want, well done. Good for you. But if you're a data miner who just says, I'm all about the data, and the joy is in the data, and the truth is in the data, well then, fuck you. I have no time for you.
Is that the
Well,
end? Can I put
I had
on
to say
my
it.
cool glasses now?
It had to be
Finish
said.
up. The
Had to
shoot's
be said.
over. It's a wrap.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, and who knows what next time will be, what we'll be talking about, but I bet the word research will be said. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.